Have you seen the Emperor's new clothes? And by Emperor, I mean Lia Thomas. Let's go through a quick list here. Rachel Levine, born a male, first female four-star general, USA Today's Woman of the Year. Amy Schneider, born a male, the most winningest female on Jeopardy ever. Catalina Enriquez, born a male, Miss Nevada USA. Caitlyn Jenner, born a male, Glamour Magazine's 2015 Woman of the Year. And even she has a problem with Lia Thomas being the women's 500-yard freestyle race NCAA champion. And she talks about it here, gives her opinion in this little article, saying, is in the New York Post, says that, let's see where I can find it here. By allowing men to compete in women's sports, the NCAA is destroying opportunities for women, making a mockery of its championships and perpetuating a fraud. And I would tend to agree with her, even if my impression is not all that good. And DeSantis says that he recognizes Emma Wyatt as the best women's swimmer in the 500-yard freestyle because she came in second. So people aren't real happy. And, mostly on the right, of course, they're not too crazy about how this is all playing out. And it might be kind of a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this Lia Thomas kind of jumps the shark a little bit. Because this woman, still has all the male junk. Everything. All there. Hasn't had anything taken away or added at this point. Still talks like a man, walks like a man, and swims like a man against these, and swims very well like a man against these women. And maybe it's what we needed, because I believe at some point there has to be this kind of obvious moment where we see, look, there's a difference here between these males and these females when you see the picture side by side. We can pretend that gravity doesn't exist, but the funny thing is we keep pushing it and pushing it. We can pretend all we want, but eventually we jump off a roof and we break both our legs, Ignoring common sense and reality is foolish, and it is not sustainable, Now, you can temporarily fool people. You can browbeat them, get them to submit and all of that, but you won't, in the long run, beat nature, There will be a natural order to the way things will fall together. You can call it God, you can call it evolution, whatever, but you won't beat nature in the end. There will be a reckoning, and there's usually a shakeout, and it usually comes in the form of some kind of civil conflict. People, they split away from each other, and it could be a neighboring conflict like Russia and Ukraine, and it's ugly, it's nasty, it's bloody, and people are dying there right now. You could ask them right now, what do you think of transgender concerns? And I'll tell you what they would think. They'd say, hey, stay and fight like a man. Ukraine refuses to let transgenders leave. They're saying Ukraine is refusing to let men aged 18 to 53 flee the country, demanding that they stay and fight the invading Russian forces. Why? Because right now they are in it for the species. They're in it because they are protecting their country, and liberals can be outraged all they want. And we're talking essentially the liberals here back in the States, thousands of miles away from all of the conflict and area, where we can actually afford to care about the transgenders at this time, and not about the people who are being turned into a red mist from the missiles and the bombs going off, and families being, torn apart, and people dying. So what I'm saying is, at some point, the shit hits the fan. It always does. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But right now, here in the States, we don't have to worry about that, do we? We can still be very concerned about these transgender issues. And I am. I'm not trying to be facetious here and sound like I'm uncaring. I do have a solution. And that is that we should make a trans division of competition in sports and pageants and whatever. It's just for the trans community. Trans people can compete against trans people. Boom, done. I solved it. Okay, the transgenders get their own division of competition. How is that so hard? Now, some people I know are they're just not going to let it go. And they're going to say, well, that's divisive. We can't have that, right? So I say then go ahead and let biological males compete against biological males. That's fine. And if biological females want to compete with biological males, they can. But biological females should not be forced to compete against biological males. And if you disagree with this, I can only assume that you actually enjoy watching biological men athletically and empirically beat the crap out of females in different areas of life, including athletics. And I don't want that. I would hope that you don't want that, unless there's another agenda going on here. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the section down below, and consider subscribing to the channel. If you're here on YouTube, if you're on one of the other platforms, go ahead and subscribe there. Sign in at midnightamerican.com. Become a member of the Night Crew so that we can stay in touch. And hopefully I helped bring an answer. That's all I really want. I don't want to cause problems. I want to hopefully come up with a solution that is good for everybody. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, know yourself better than you know anyone else.